Here's a quick review of everyone's favorite exercise, the bench press. So here we're seeing it from the front. The big thing that we're doing here is I want you to think about pulling the weight down to your chest. I think that's usually the missing link to get people to engage their lats. So here we are from the side, and we'll slow it down a little bit, but I'll just show you the fast version. Making sure the eyes are underneath the bar. Pull the shoulders down to your hips, pull the weight down to the chest, and then reverse the movement by pressing your body into the bench and pressing up to the ceiling, toward the ceiling. So here we're going to break it down piece by piece. You can see during the setup, we're trying to make sure that the eyes are underneath the bar. Next, we're going to set up and try to push all the weight up onto the traps. So I like to put my feet up on top of the bench, put all my weight up on the traps. It helps create like a little bit of an arch into the movement, shorten the range of motion. As you put the feet down, the old adage is you can't fire a cannon out of a canoe. So we want to make that body as stable as possible. So drive those heels into the ground. You can also just drive the toes depending on the federation, but the heels, butt, and back are all in contact with the bench. You'll also notice that my wrists are neutral here. So what I like to do is squeeze the bar as hard as I can and try to break it in half, like almost like kind of put most of the weight on the outsides of my wrists, so the wrists are in a neutral position. We pause all of our reps at the bottom, and you'll notice that the wrists are even and right over the elbows. So we don't tuck the elbows in too much with our raw bench. We're also trying to bring the chest up to the bar, so that's going to help create a little bit of an arch to press off of. So here, before we start driving up, what I want you to think about is pressing your body into the bench versus just pushing the bar up overhead. So drive your body into the bench and then press the weight away from your body. So one thing I mentioned earlier was pulling the weight down. I like to envision that the weight's attached to the ceiling and I have to pull the weight down to engage my lats instead of just letting the bar come down. And then what I want you to do is push your body into the bench and then drive the weight up. Your big goal with the bench press is to create as much tension throughout your body, your entire body. So you're squeezing that bar, driving your heels into the ground, squeezing your butt nice and tight, and trying to fire every muscle in your body. Another thing that we could try to do is drive that head back into the bench. Now, this will depend on the federation, whether it's legal or not legal, to pick your head up off the bench, but we like to drive that head down, making sure the butt's in contact with the bench, and also your heels are driving down, as well as your upper back. It's just pretty much a good way to create as much tension throughout the body as you can. So pull the weight down, load up your body, and then fire. So now here's another angle that we can look at. Again, we're trying to get those wrists over the elbows. So if you were to look at it, your elbows are probably about 45 degrees. We're not completely elbows out, really super wide. We're trying to pull that weight down to your chest. We always give it a pause because it's really hard to break that habit of touch and goes when you're trying to go into competition. So we try to keep everything consistent and give it a pause on the bottom. Again, squeeze that bar, try to break it in half, pull the weight down, load up those lats and the rest of the body. Before you press up, I want you to drive your back into the bench, drive your head back before pressing up and trying to keep that weight directly over your shoulders. Again, pull the weight down, drive your back, press the weight up. In summary, drive those heels, squeeze that butt, squeeze the bar, try to break it in half, pull the weight down, give it a pause before pressing the weight back up. Pull, pause, press. While we're based in the Los Angeles area, we have GTS athletes all over the country. So reach out to us at GameTimeStrength.com for customized online program design and coaching.